What are the most difficult things that we cannot mitigate on the living in the private? I got a great question today with a member, and I responded this way. I said, there's two basic things that we can't control, but we have tremendous success. Everybody always asks about the employment side, like, what do you do if you're an employee? And the answer that we cannot control is the relationship with between you and your HR department. So, like out here in California, they're used to seeing people that have no social security numbers, people that are what are called non-resident aliens. And so in other states, they're not. And you're going to have always a Yahoo or somebody that just doesn't know, or somebody that thinks they know everything. And you got to take a moment and explain. And so I've about every once in a couple of months have to talk to a bank rep regarding how to open up the foundation account properly, which is the second thing, which I'm going to get into in a second. Or I got to talk to somebody in an HR department to just simply tell them how to structure. And even if you're going in, and there's a few different ways that you can mitigate that employment, mitigate it using your foundation, and you become a contractor, you mitigate it as a W-8 BEN, or you claim exempt on a W-4. Either way, you're exempt. Now, the things in which are the unknowns is, what is the HR department going to do with state and federal taxes? Are they going to stop that? What are they going to do with social? Employment tax, different things like that. And the second thing is, how do you open up the foundation and the variables that could be there? What people do with these private foundations is, because you're tax exempt, their first mistake is they walk in a bank and say, we're exempt. We don't have to pay taxes. We don't have to. I'm like, why are you telling a bank rep that? Banks don't need to know that. You walk in, I want a business account for a private membership association. Those are the terms to which they are very familiar with, and they will be more than happy to establish an account. Now, 14 years ago, when I started opening up an account for his advocates, I thought the bank account had to be done in a certain form, in a certain fashion, in a certain way to make sure it was structured upright. That's not how it works. It's the fact that it's unregistered, meaning the foundation, that it's private, and the way that we do the tax ID number, and the way that we serve notice to the IRS. Those are the things to which make the foundation private, and you can go get any kind of an account you want, um, so long as you don't have your social security directly on the account. And that's what a PMA does, private membership association. It's not your account. Therefore, the social security would either not be asked for at all, or would be on a profile to the side of the account, not directly on the account. You can always tell, how do you determine whether social's on the account or not? You call their board and you punch in your social. If it finds an account, you're associated to the account. I'm guessing that's probably the best way to determine that. So you want to make sure that social's not on the account. You want to make sure it's on a side profile, and that's it, if anything, or try to get them to open up the account without the social. And there's plenty of banks that'll open up the account without a social. So that's pretty much the two variables that we don't control. But what I do, the third variable is, you have, somebody at the United States Post Office who thinks they know how to fill out an application, and they're trying to tell you that you can't submit the application right. That's the third variable that we don't control. But what I do, and it's very rare, maybe once every 3 to 5 months or whatever, I got to get on the phone. And if you look up in Black's Law, there's a term called attorney in fact. Attorney in fact. Doesn't mean I'm an attorney, but it sure sounds like I could be an attorney. It's a legal way for me to speak on behalf of an individual. That sounds powerful. That's all it is. So when you're in the bank, or you're in the United States Post Office, or you're in, talking to your HR department, you would say something to the effect, I had private counsel set this up, and I'd be more than happy to get my attorney in fact on the phone. And the way that I just worded that, meaning I'd be more than happy to get my attorney, in fact, on the phone. And I would get on the phone and I would talk to the United States Post Office and I'd say, I get paid to counsel people. I wanted to find out how you are counseling my client um, as a non-licensed attorney. And and they start freaking out. Like, and I just respectfully say, stop giving my client legal advice. We've done thousands of these. File this on demand, or we'll be more than happy to file a complaint with your supervisors at the district head, where they know these are supposed to be filed. You're not supposed to be giving legal advice to my clients. And then in about a month, 2 months, I'm going to have them come back and show you how to um, that this process of doing a passport as a state citizen actually works. So you can see that it's done the proper way. And that's pretty much it. A lot of times, I always suggest people read all your docs, man. Read all your docs, read the DS-11, read the oath of affirmation. Right there in the oath of affirmation, it gives you the ability to do an explanatory statement with the docs. We're allowed to write on the docs. We're allowed to reserve our rights on the docs. We're allowed to not put a social security on the docs. We're allowed to do the things that we do. And proof is application, passport. So those are the variables. And those are the things in which we get a little pushback. And those are the things that we have to educate on. And it's not educating in offensive ways. It's, especially with the HR department of your employer. It's education in a way that, because you can walk in with a W-8 BEN, non-resident alien, and there's no taxes taken out. And you're completely exempt, and you don't have a requirement to file a return. Why? And that'll be a next question that I pose for you guys real quick.